Hi, I'm Sam.
And I'm Pete.
And welcome to Go Biking. So last summer during lockdown, like you might have been doing, we hit our local trails pretty hard, and we were up here 3 or 4 times a week, really putting in the time. And when you're riding your local trails that much, what do you do?
Strava. So we've been checking our Strava pretty regularly, seeing incremental kind of gains here and there, getting all those PBs, no KOMs I'm afraid, but yeah, definitely seeing a lot of improvement. And we know that Strava isn't super accurate, but it's fun to see where you're progressing. But on Strava there was one trail that stood out. The Hippity Hops.
The Hippity Hops.
So the Hippity Hops, it's a relatively short trail, and that means that you can session it. So we were up and down here 3 or 4 times, wasn't it? Like, particularly when one of us had beaten the other one. So I think this time last year, we were probably getting down in about 1 minute 10 seconds. By October, I think I'd got it down to about 104. You were perhaps 105.
Yeah.
And of course, winter then hit, and the trails slowed down, so competition was on pause.
Yeah, but as the winter passes through and the trails start to get a bit better as the sun comes out and dries them out a bit, the competition started to heat up again. We started to see some decent runs, and I kicked off this competition with this beauty of a run.
I don't know if this heart feels like it should. There's so many things going on under the hood. I don't know if this heart feels like it should, cause I felt this way before and it didn't end up good. My dreams of 4x3 on the screen plays my memories. Some dust and scratches make me feel all nostalgically that this is really real, but it will never be. Cause this is my inspiration, you can take it, it's completely free. It made me who I am today and everything that I'll ever be.
Well, I am super chuffed with that. As my first run, that is a 102, which is, well, 3 seconds faster than my fastest time. So I've only got 2 seconds to shave to get to that minute. So yeah, super chuffed.
So yeah, I was super chuffed with that 102. And not just because I was seeing some progression, but mainly because I was 2 seconds ahead of you.
But a week later, I got this one.
Oh.
My dreams of 4x3 on the screen plays my memories. Some dust and scratches make me feel all nostalgically that this is really real, but it will never be. Cause this is my inspiration, you can take it, it's completely free. It made me who I am today and everything that I'll ever be. Cause I know who holds tomorrow, but I don't know where I'll be next week. No, I don't know where I'll be next week. I got that take me anywhere certainty. That kind of confidence, you know that you wouldn't believe. There's no what I wish I knew, no question what I hear is true. And I'm not even as half as good as you, but my train ticket comes with a view. I got a notebook and lyrics to fill them too. I got thoughts inside my chest that let us tell them best. Cause I've loved and I've lived and I've lost. I've kept feelings on my heart like a frost, I've frozen too. Look at the box office, something contagious, catch me chest coughing. Cause most apocalyptic is so cryptic when you're stuck at home. But I'm not stuck, I'm safe even if I'm all alone. I threw my phone across the room and somehow fell asleep. I'm out for dinner, not to scrolling cause I need to eat. I'm out for dinner, not to scrolling cause I need to eat. I don't know if this heart feels like it should. There's so many things going on under the hood. I don't know if this heart feels like it should.
Just finished a ride up here at Nant and hit the Hippity Hops on the way. So obviously we've been trying to kind of improve our speed up there, still aiming for that sub-minute run through. But tonight got it down to 101, which is a 2-second improvement for me, and a second faster than Sam, which is probably the most important thing about that. So yeah, super pleased with that. Okay, so 101, competition's high up.
That was hard to watch, I'm not gonna lie.
And Strava really is accurate to that second, definitely, at least on that run. So that leads us to the question, who's going to be the first under a minute?
Yeah, so we've decided that that is the only way we can really establish this competition. Who can hit under a minute on this run first? So we're here today, we've got our bikes, and we're gonna put in some effort on this trail now. I think we're probably going to start with a trail walk, just so if we can like sort out our line choices and start shaving those milliseconds. So yeah, enjoy. So we're doing a bit of a trail walk now, just to see if we can pinpoint some moments where we reckon we can shave a bit of time off. So we started by splitting the track down into 4 kind of like main sections. Do you want to chat us through what those are?
Yeah, so we've got this first part, which is all lumpy and bumpy. So there's a series of things which, if you come down here and you're not trying for a time, you can get some nice little jumps and stuff on hips off them. That's really nice. And then you've got the section that then starts the downhill, which is pretty smooth.
Yeah.
And that section, that's I guess what we're calling section 2. And then section 3, there's a jump and a drop.
Yeah.
Which actually you take pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then after that, there's a few corners that take you to the end, and they're probably the 4 sections.
Yeah.
And I think we'd probably say it's this first bit, which is probably the biggest kind of opportunity for time, I guess.
Kind of looking at our Strava time so far, we've noticed that we're pretty consistent on that like speedy last 3 sections. We're pretty quick over the jump and the drop, and even the corners are pretty good. But
yeah, I'd probably say the corners then the second one, isn't it? That you kind of, it's probably this, and then the corners after the the drop.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a look at some line choices, session a few little bits, and then see if we can knock a bit of time off. We reckon that like this top section is a real mix of like pumping the transitions, but really trying to like find time to lay down that power as well.
If you just do a max effort through this, basically you're so knackered when it comes down to the downhill that you're then sapping time. It's getting that balance between going through here as fast as you can while still leaving enough energy for kind of getting down the other side.
Yeah.
And I think that's the challenge of this bit, isn't it?
So just in between the transition of the hops at the top and the downhill of section 2, there's a bit of a route kind of jump here on the left, which is great fun if you're messing around, but it's just taking time. It's adding time onto our runs when we do it, just because it kind of takes you a little bit off the straight, and also getting that air time doesn't actually give you any speed when you land in the transition. So this next section is the jump, and it's not much of a jump at all, but it's the closest thing you've got to a proper jump on the trail. And so basically we've been trying to figure out the best line for this. So it comes in at a bit of a curve, and there's a corner right after it. So we're trying to land and give ourselves as straight a line as possible after the jump. So we're kind of taking off on the right hand side of the jump, aiming in left to try and come down over this route here. And then this line then lines us up really nicely to go nice and wide into that corner there.
Now we're trying to link another section where there's a small drop off down here. So one of the challenges here is you've come off, as Sam spoke about, off the jump, and then you've got this curve here which is relatively shallow, but there's not really a berm or anything. So making sure that you've got grip to come through here and having the confidence in the grip that you have to carry the speed, and that's where that jump starts to become quite important, because if you've done that well, got a good line, then it sets you really nicely up for that. If you don't, you sometimes feel like you then grab a start brake, and once you've grabbed your brake, obviously you've lost your speed coming through, and then that leads you on into this small drop off. And the aim here, that what you're looking to do is to kind of come off this kind of left hand side area here, so therefore you're kind of going directly then further down the trail. If you end up coming off to the right, you kind of go heading off into a bank, and well, I think we've both had a go at that, and that's not the fastest line. So
So at this point, for apparently no reason at all, the GoPro decided to stop taking audio. So rather than retake the footage and continue to be eaten by midges, we're going to go give it a go.
I've been trying to find myself till I got lost, yeah. I've been getting killed by these early morning thoughts, yeah. I've been told that I need to wait for my life to unfold. And I've been warned that life always feels like it goes far too trying to hold on to this time I've been spending. I've been trying to work out if the story hasn't.
So I've just looked at my run and really annoyingly, after what felt like a really good run, it hasn't recorded properly on Strava. I didn't go far enough away from the section, so I'm really gutted about that. Pete's just checking his now. How'd you do, Pete?
Read it and weep, Sam.
No way! 58 seconds, you absolute boss!
Yeah, so happy with that. So, and second fastest time of the year.
Banging, absolutely
So,
banging. You must be
58.
well chuffed with that.
Yeah, and the fastest time of the year is 55 seconds. So still something to aim for.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm gutted about my run, but Pete's nailed it, so that's awesome. I think I'm going to go up and have one more go. And, well, if nothing else, then at least this exercise has got Pete under a minute. So I'm going to get out of these midges. Ugh.
So Sam, last run of the day. How'd you feel?
It's getting dark. Pete's already got that 58 seconds, and I've got my missed opportunity. So here's hoping that this is the one. Right.
Just don't fall off, mate.
Just don't fall off. Right, let's get it.
I don't know if this heart feels like it should. There's so many things going on under the hood. I don't know if this heart feels like it should. Cause I felt this way before and it didn't end up good. Cause the wind can change direction just like the sky's complexion. And it's not just rainy days that get me down cause money's saved so you can weather the storm. But have you got enough for later? You bit off more than you can chew. Hi, I'll be your waiter cause I've done enough waiting for a lifetime or a few. I got too comfy looking out my bedroom view and I've got everything I need and that's the problem. I got far too much greed and that's the problem. Cause I know I've got eternity so life is not a tragedy. The 9 to 5 shirt and tie cubicle life is not for me. I don't need a retreat, there's lies behind my XD. There's so much I thought that I needed, but I did nothing when I finally received it. I did nothing when they told me that they needed it. So freely given but so rarely distributed it. So freely given but so rarely distributed it.
Well, it felt fast. Suppose let's see if it was. Whew.
So Sam, end of the last run of the day. You got your phone in your hand?
I do. It's the magic moment. It's
how'd it
processing.
go?
We're processing at the moment. Let's see how we did. We've got a PB. We've got a PB. What is it? Hippity Hops in 101. You're flipping kidding me. Come on. So close, but so far. Oh, you got me today, Pete.
Well, let's see what I did on my last run as well.
How'd you do?
Apparently a 1:15.
1:15. Well, that makes my 101 feel a bit better.
Yeah, I think something weird must have happened there because that doesn't quite make sense. It definitely wasn't that slow.
There we go.
Shows you the reliability of Strava.
Absolutely.
Sam.
And I'm going to bank on.
When it gets to under a minute, it's dead on.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I'm banking on that unreliability of Strava, and Pete's saying it's perfectly accurate. Well, thanks for joining us for this video, guys. It's not the end of the line for me. I'm going to keep trying on that one, but well done, Pete. You did it. So you should feel really chuffed with that.
I do. I'm really stoked on that one. But
Awesome.
now I think it's time to get in the car and get out of this place because it is midge to heaven round here.
Yeah, mid-central. Look at it. Oh, it's grim. Well, thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, click subscribe, click like, and follow us on our social media. You can follow us on all the platforms at Go Biking MTB. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right.
It's easier to love when, easier to love when, it's easier to love when you know what it feels like.